my name is Haley Bonin, and I will be talking about the team that keeps the legal system moving. John Gotti, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and Martha Stewart are all people who have been charged and convicted of a crime by a hard-working prosecuting legal team. Even though they all have different charges, ranging from something as minimal as false report to a police officer all the way up to serial killers and murders, there was a hard-working prosecuting team behind those cases working to put them away for the crimes that they essentially did commit. There are many moving parts when it comes to a legal team, and for those moving parts, you need a good staff. That staff usually includes a legal assistant, paralegal, and an attorney, all working to keep the cases moving and ready to go to court. If one of those parts were to disappear or not exist, then the legal system would become very slow moving or even completely be destroyed in the process without one of them. Currently, I work as a legal assistant for the 19th Circuit State Attorney's Office in the state of Florida. I'm also currently going to school here in Kaiser to get my associate's degree in paralegal studies, and I have been having my education in the legal field for the last 3 years. So we all know that at the end of the day, the attorneys are the ones that get all the glory for a case being brought to court and a criminal being put in jail. But there are many people working behind them to help make that happen. There is no job too small that they don't have an impact on the overall outcome of the case. This includes a legal assistant. Now, as a legal assistant, I may not have the most glorious job in the office, but it is very essential nonetheless. With my job, I have many different responsibilities, starting from when the case begins till it ends. In the beginning process, known as the investigation phase, I am responsible for getting all the necessary materials from outside agencies. So what this means is when my attorney tells me that she needs something, it is my job to reach out to that agency and make sure I get that material for her to go over. An example of this will be in our many DUI cases is she will have me request a in-car video or body cam from the arresting officer so we're able to see the driving pattern and behavior of the defendant in this case. Once we have those materials, we are then able to move into the discovery phase, which is where the attorney has gathered all the information that she needs and has given it to me to then prepare and send off to the defense attorney. This is because we cannot have a case and evidence without sharing it with both sides. This is just a part of the law that we need to give everyone a fair and equal trial, and this means sharing everything that we have. So in the discovery phase, I must make essential non-restrictive redactions to say, and getting the material ready for the defense attorney. But overall, in the entire process, besides these specific jobs that I have, I need to make sure that I keep all of the files organized for my attorney. This is because if I'm to lose a file, a case may end up getting continued or even dropped, and a criminal who should be in jail could end up walking free. The legal assistant does a lot of the legwork, essentially, for the attorney and the overall prosecuting process. But we aren't able to do everything. This is because we don't have the certain clearance for certain restricted material. That's where the paralegal will then come in. So a paralegal is essentially a more educated legal assistant. They go to school for either 4 years for a bachelor's degree, or like I'm doing, they go to school for 2 to 3 years for an associate's degree and an equivalent certificate. So, some of the things that a paralegal is able to do that a legal assistant cannot is handling sensitive information. This includes sending off things that are called a subpoena ducis tecum. This is a special form of a subpoena that allows the legal team to get sensitive information that we don't have access to otherwise. This includes things like phone records, text messages, bank records, credit card statements, and even medical records. In my case, in my job, we usually use these medical records in a battery case, where we might need to see any injuries that a victim may have sustained in a domestic violence dispute. Going along with the victim route, a paralegal is also responsible for handling redactions in those sensitive cases. When a victim invokes Marsy's Law, they don't want any of their information being known by anyone in the case. This is for their own privacy and is the right of the victim, and we as the prosecuting side, working to help benefit the victim, must respect that and follow their wishes. So the paralegal is responsible for going through every single file that we have and every single piece of paper with a fine-tooth comb and making sure they take out every information relating to the victim. This includes their name, phone number, address, email. Anything that can be traced back to the victim and their identity must be gone. That's why it's such a sensitive thing that the paralegal has to do because of their higher clearance and education. And again, a paralegal is responsible for organization skills for the attorney, but they handle the more extreme things like scheduling meetings for them, meeting new clients if you're in a private firm, and drafting documents for the attorney to then send off and use in court. So all of the work of the legal assistant and the paralegal would be for nothing if we didn't have the educated attorneys to bring everything to court. So obviously, the attorneys are the most educated person on the legal team. They go to school for 4 years for a bachelor's degree in any field that they would like, and then follow that up with 3 additional years of law school, followed by having to pass the bar exam in their state. So they have a lot of education, which makes them the most qualified people for the job. So, in the end, it is their job to bring the case to court and present everything that they have gathered and learned in order to support their case and their side. Going along with their education, they need to be able to recall specific things about the case and facts of law in order to support their claims. An example of this could be when an attorney has to sign off on warrants. They need to be able to cite specific statutes in the warrant in order to make it viable and able to be given back to the arresting agency to then be fulfilled and go arrest the individual on the warrant. It is their responsibility to know this because they have the highest education and they will know everything specific going on in the warrant, including, as I mentioned before, the statutes. They are also the most educated when it comes to arguing the cases in court. They go to school for many years and get prepared for events of major public speaking and getting ready to make their arguments and claims in open court. They're also prepared to make objections to things that the opposing side may say or evidence that they may try and introduce. Again, coming into why they need to know specific laws and statutes to be able to cite throughout their arguments and bringing the case to court. So, there's never been any doubt in anyone's mind, I think, that there is a lot of work that goes into bringing a case to court. But now we all know that there are a lot of people working behind that attorney to bring that case to court. There are many integral roles on the legal team, but the main ones, of course, are the legal assistant, our paralegal, and the attorney. All of those people work very hard and very long together to bring these cases to court. Sometimes for weeks, months, and even years, they're working to get all the evidence that they need and get everything prepared properly. So the next time that you see a case on the news and you're wondering about all the work that that attorney did to get it ready and to get that person in jail, just remember that they had a very hard-working team behind them, supporting them in order to get that person convicted and put in jail. Thank you.